My journey as an artist at the Wharf has come from starting with the Battle of Waterloo, which is a distinctly Aboriginal story about the community at Waterloo. And it's written by Queen of Waterloo, just about, Kylie Coolwell. She's a legend. To jump from that, which was so full of pain and tragedy and humour as well, and then jump to Black is the New White a few years later, which was rom-com with the undercurrent of pain and tragedy that follows every black fella. So they were kind of the 180s of each other. That for me, I kind of remember going, all right, SCC's taking big steps with Aboriginal theatre right now. And this is a really cool period of time to be an artist here.
I still remember the day it was commissioned. Like I remember writing Black is the New White at the restaurant, at the Wharf, like sitting at the bar, because it was just such a beautiful place to write. And I just thought, this might be the only play I ever get to have on down here. So I'm just gonna soak up every single minute of being here. Well, that's why I was coming to rehearsals and stuff like that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Couldn't get me out of the Wharf. I just figured if I just hang around long enough, I'll become part of the furniture.
It was so joyous at every moment in the room. It's definitely our first black rom-com on stage. It was so special to be a part of something that was so specific to our experience as Aboriginal people, you know, being in interracial relationships and things like that. We just kind of had this jar of magic and we got to dip into it every day. And you're kind of looking around going, no one really knows what we're doing in there. I hope they love it as much as we do. And then we had our first company run and people were in hysterics and it was kind of cool to go, okay, we've got a show, we've definitely got a show.
The fact that I even had a play on at the Wharf, it's just such kind of, oh, I'm an actual playwright now.
When we had a community show where we get the most community members to come along, and Tony Briggs was the first person to corpse on stage. So corpse is when you start laughing and you can't stop. And it got so full on. The audience were laughing so loudly and participating with us, like yelling, you know, like because it was mob, it was like this great interaction. It just triggered everybody and it got to the stage where we just all sort of stood there laughing.
I think one of the most special moments for me is when we had the opening night reception for Blackie Brown, the traditional owner of Deaf, and I got to do an acknowledgement of country. And there was a lot of Aboriginal people in the audience that night, a lot of my family. And I got to stand up there and acknowledge that my voice, my humour, and the stories that I tell are stories that are passed down to me from my ancestors. They're not, to me, they don't really feel that new. I'm just kind of doing what is my duty to. And to be able to get up there and say that in that space and to acknowledge my family history and those who came before me was really special.
You know, my passion is new Australian work, and I guess by default, most Aboriginal plays are new Australian works. I'm super excited to see what history will be made from here on out, I suppose.
A good conversation is what you want when you go to the Wharf. That's why you go. You go see a play, you go have a glass of wine, a soda, some food, whatever, but what you're going there for is just to have a conversation. Because who goes to theatre to be quiet? No one. You go to the theatre, you go to the Wharf to watch a play, to have this communal experience in the dark with strangers, and then to like argue about it viciously after. Or rave, or rant. Rave. Oh, it's great, whatever. That's what you go to the Wharf for.